38-year-old male who was taken into custody. He has a history of mental illness and drug abuse. You know, I've been a chief now for about 9 months, and far too often we're running into situations with people that suffer from mental illness that are armed with firearms, and the outcomes are often a tragedy. You know, there's a broader issue here than what's happening in the city of Dearborn, the combination of mental illness and access to firearms. I hope we can find a solution for that. I'm proud of the work that our officers did. I appreciate the regional response. I had phone calls from the federal government, from Dawn Isom. I could run down a very long list of people that reached out to make sure that we had the resources that we need. I'm proud of these officers. I'm proud of this community. Unfortunately, a tragedy struck this city today, but we did our best to navigate it.
Chief, can you tell us how you managed to convince him? What magic words were used here? Like, how did you make it happen?
Well, I didn't make anything happen, but my crisis negotiators, I'm so proud of them. I mean, they're just tireless. I mean, they were on the phone, they were doing their best to talk to him and make a connection to try to end this peacefully, and they couldn't have done a better job with the tragedy.
You had said earlier in one of your earlier briefings this was over a bill, that he owed money, that he'd been staying here. Can you elaborate at all on that?
So there was a confrontation over the bill. I don't know if they were preparing to evict him for a noise or a disturbance, but that's what originated the problem. He was upset about and asking for a refund.
And so did the shooting occur in the hallway near the room, in the room, or in the lobby? Where exactly did the shooting occur?
It happened on the 3rd floor. I'll just leave it at that.
And do you know how many shots were fired?
Well, it's an active investigation, and I couldn't tell you with certainty at this point.
Chief, so we are clear, he fires at the clerk, shooting him fatally. Did he shoot at your officers as well?
No, he did not. He pointed the firearm, threatened the officers with the firearm, but he never fired it.
And so when he fired the shot, when he shot the clerk, did he go back into the room, barricade himself? Did he take any people with him? I mean, what was the status?
So we had a team of officers that responded here within
about 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, and when we were going up the hallway to make contact with him, he saw our officers, and he ducked into his room. And then you saw the protracted barricaded situation.
Can you talk to us about what we saw here late tonight, which is the fire department getting another guest out of here? I mean, was this guy just too close to the room to be evacuated, and that's what happened here?
So we had individuals that were still in a room that we wanted to be able to get to safety, and the only other recourse would have been to take them through a hallway that he had been pointing a firearm down. So we decided that breaking out the window and using our fire department to extricate that person was the safest way to do that.
How long had this man stayed in the room?
I don't know the answer to that. So I appreciate your questions. Mayor, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I think I just want to take the moment to recognize the professional level that our police department performed today. We're extremely proud of them. We're thankful for them. I think at this moment we ask everybody to pray for our police officers for this experience, as well as our first responders. We want to thank the Michigan State Police, our regional partners such as Wayne County and the Sheriff's Department, and hopefully, pray for the family of the victim, as well as pray for the family of the assailant. We know that there are broader issues at hand as it pertains to the mental health crisis that's ongoing not only in our region but in our state and in our country, as well as accessibility to firearms. And we're hoping that those in the right positions of power do act on this. It's about time that we had solutions.
Chief, do you know if he had a permit for his firearm?
I don't know the answers to that at this point. Again, I thank you guys. You've been out here for a long time. I appreciate your help in getting the message out to the public, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You said he was from out of town. Can you say where he's from?
You've been listening to a press conference, of course, with the mayor, Michigan State Police, and of course the chief of police giving us an update on that now 9-hour standoff with the suspect, who of course is now in custody. And so sad to hear about that 55-year-old clerk losing his life today. Our thoughts and prayers certainly with his family.
From Riverview, that victim of this tragic occurrence is shooting inside the Hampton Inn hotel in downtown Dearborn this afternoon. All began unfolding around shortly after 1 o'clock this afternoon, and within the last half hour or so, the chief said that that individual, that suspect in this, was taken into custody, ending this ordeal, this tragic ordeal tonight.
Yeah, and sad to hear again that mental illness was involved, and you heard the mayor say that we need to pray for that 55-year-old man's family, but along with the suspect, because mental illness is such a big deal. And you also heard them say that they had to take someone out of a window who was right next door because that 38-year-old suspect was pointing a long gun down the hallway, and they didn't want to have anyone else in jeopardy. So thankfully, this ended peacefully. We don't know how they talked this 38-year-old man down with mental illness, but they did. He's in custody, and that should be the end of it.
We'll continue to follow this. Our reporter Brett Cast is on scene. We'll have much more on this story coming up on Action News at 10 on TV 20, and of course here tonight at 11 as well. We return you now to your regular programming.
Have a good night.
This has been a breaking news alert. We now return you to our regularly scheduled program.